this is what 50 years of Black women being beyond reproach looks like in the Black community, right? So when you have 50 years of telling Black women that all their relations with Black men, that somehow it's Black men's fault, what ends up happening is they can't separate that even in their professional life. So they're taking their childhood traumas, their youthful rejection, even their adult traumas into the workforce. And so they can't do their duty with Black men in general, quite frankly, but Black men specifically, they can't be professional with you because of all that pent up, these Negroes ain't ish rhetoric. All of that rhetoric for decades is how you get here with the lack of professionalism. I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm saying that is how you get to where we are. Right now, we have to have a more honest conversation about Black women in particular not being beyond reproach when it comes to their relationships with Black men, both intimately but also professionally. Right? Until you can have an honest conversation about, first, like I said, power, who has power in the Black community, how they wield it, and who white society, primarily white men, use as the colonizing agent within the Black community. Until you can have that conversation, you can't have a real conversation about these people that are in professional environments, but when it comes to you as a Black man, XY chromosome Black, they cannot respect you, right? Because they have whatever issues and they've been allowed to by white society to disrespect you. And I'll pause right there.
And I think what happens is, let's say you are a Black woman who you legitimately love Black men, or you legitimately want a Black family or whatever, and you believe in Black love, but you've had bad experiences. Maybe it's whether it's with your dad, whether it's with maybe men, exes, baby daddies, whatever. You've had those bad experiences, and then you walk into a university system and you sit under white feminist training for what 4 years, maybe 6 years, maybe 8, depending upon what you're doing. But you sit under that training. They go and take these education and they sit under white feminist ideology and learn about white feminist framework, but then apply it to Black people, and they come out radicalized. Sometimes you can literally come out seeing men as the source of the problem. And this is what I think is happening. This is what I actually think happened to her, if I'm being honest. Because you see, it's like, so there's that wound, there's that hurt that started from her Black stepfather. She says, okay, you're the reason I dated emotionally available, men. And when I went to you and tried to connect, you weren't able to do so. That's painful. That's a wound, especially for women. That's hurtful. Not having that emotional connection with their father, with a man in their life as a father figure, that is hurtful, especially for women, because we are emotional human beings. And there's many of Black women, many of us who go along and feel that and have that void and feel that disconnect. So that is a wound that she carries. Then, she went into school, obviously, to try to get different training. And based upon the things that she said, and based upon the things that she alluded to, you can tell that even if she doesn't identify as a Black feminist, she certainly has picked up feminist ideology. Now, again, when you do that, right, when you have bad experiences with men, then you go into education and they tell you men are the problem. Now it can kind of create this confusing limbo, because there's this aspect of you, right, where it's like you want to be with men, you have that desire, but then at the same time there's this negativity towards men. But then, based upon the feminist framework, men are the one that have to fix it. And so the issue with this kind of trajectory, right, of you go from, whether it's a dad wound, father wound, whatever, you go from that, you go into these educational systems, you get radicalized, and then you come out. The issue is now it puts you in a chokehold, because in one instance you want Black men, or one instance you want a good man, but then in the other instance, all of your situations with Black men have been traumatizing. And then now you have this whole framework that has been upheld by society that says men are the problem. So in your mind, all of the different problems that you have experienced, all of the different problems that you have faced are exclusively because of Black men. And in order for it to be fixed, Black men now have to stand up, and they have to fix the community, and they have to protect you, and they have to open up, and they have to ABC, X, Y, and Z, Black men are the problem. But it puts you in the chokehold, because now you're seeing that Black men are the problem, and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. And so it's just kind of weird tug of war. You see up here, she says, man, it saddens me because I really love doing the work with Black men. So there's an aspect of her that's just like, man, like I want to connect with Black men. But then a few tweets previously, it's like Black women also means protect us from Black men. And so her trajectory to me it shows me how women are radicalized, how there's a progression of radicalization that happens, starting, I think, very young, from maybe bad situations, lack of healthy relationships, fill in the blank. Then you go into these institutions that radicalize you further. And then now you go and you see men are the problem. Now, because men are the problem, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder every single time that you deal with them. You having a chip on your shoulder when you deal with men means that you're probably not going to have good results, because men need respect. Just like women need love. Women need a certain level of, protection. Women have those things that we need. Men need respect. So when you walk around without that respect, now you don't have good relationships with men. And what, in my humble opinion, what is going to be the byproduct of years and years and years and years of not getting along with men, having emotional voids with men, not being able to connect, feeling like men are the problem, and having all this pain? What's going to be the byproduct of that long term? You might start to experiment. You might start to experience with different sexuality. And this is what we see going on here.